Okay, Double Indemnity Part 8. I know that last video got a little confusing, so I figured out how to say it a little bit more clearly. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Phyllis, think about how interchangeable people are in this movie. Phyllis takes the place of Lola's mom. She's the stepmom. Neff takes the place of Phyllis's husband because they're knocking him off so we can replace him. Lola then takes the place of Phyllis because she's dating Neff. Zacchetti takes the place of Neff because he's dating Phyllis. And Keyes takes the place of the police, who should be investigating this thing but just aren't. So and it fits into the theme about the actuarial tables and people just being statistics. It fits into the theme of the insurance being like, why don't you turn your husband into cash? People can be replaced in this movie. There are positions in the film, and you can just kind of do swapsies. And you see this kind of thing even in Night of the Hunter, where like you have the good dad who goes away and is replaced by the bad dad. So these, the way is Jeffrey in Blue Velvet Frank, right? This idea that they're like in some ways mirror images of each other. Jeffrey could become Frank because they enjoy the same things, which is sort of violent sex. So these concepts, and it really fills into capitalism. And this idea of treating people like they're interchangeable is what the insurance companies do, but it's really what all companies do. That you work for a company and they're like, oh, I'm so glad you work here. You're like family. Well, okay, but your boss will 100% fire you and replace you with somebody else, and they don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They will 100% just like, and they will fire you and they will replace you with somebody else at any fucking time. You're supposed to give them 2 weeks notice before you quit, but they don't give you 2 weeks notice before they fire you. They just fucking fire you. So this is that's the point is this isn't just a movie about a couple of murders. There's larger themes about capitalism and the replacement of people and the exchangeability of human life. The phrase that ethics philosophers would use is instrumentalization. You're not supposed to instrumentalize human life. You're not supposed to use people for anything. You're supposed to treat people like people. If you use people to get something out of them, sex or money or power or whatever, then you are treating them not like a person, but like a tool to get what you want. In this movie, everybody, good guys, bad guys, insurance company, murderers, they treat people like replaceable tools. Cool. Okay. At the end of the movie, and this is when Phyllis gives her explanation of what's happening, Neff says to her, I'm not buying it. Now, I'm not buying it is an English expression that means I don't believe you. But notice the word buy, purchase, trade for money. The capitalist themes run through the whole movie, and they're pretty incredible. That's why I'm talking. Movies are a form of thinking. This movie is thinking about the way capitalism reduces human beings to replaceable parts. And because it's a murder story, it also makes it feel like there are ghostly doubles where characters are somehow echoed or doubled in the film. In a kind of creepy sort of, not quite like Us, but a little bit like Us, right? There are doubles of characters. Characters can be replaced. The whole point of Us is that all the doubles are going to replace all of you. And then you get the crazy ending where Barbara Stanwyck says that she never loved anybody. She was always just manipulating him. Meaning she was going to like run away. She was going to like throw him under the bus and run away to Zacchetti. But when she shoots him, she says, this is actually the moment that I knew I really loved you. Because she shoots him, but she can't quite kill him. Which means, she says, she loves him. And then he shoots her and stumbles to the office for the end of the movie. But it's the moment that she's only capable of love after she's shot someone. She can love the person she shot. Why? Because they're not going to be around for much longer. So she can love them because they can't do anything to her. They can't hurt her anymore because she's put a bullet in them. It's an incredibly fucked up moment because I think she really does love Neff at that moment. But it's too late. Too late, baby. It's too late for everybody in this movie. And it's also worth pointing out that like because he's wounded and dying, then she can love him because he won't be able to use her for anything and she can't use him for anything. It's the only moment in the movie people who are dying can't be used for other purposes because they're dying, and so you can treat them like people, and so that's the moment that she sort of falls in love with him, which is so bonkers. The scene is beautiful, by the way, with the shadows in that. She keeps the lights off, and you have the beams of the curtains, the blinds sort of coming through, making these black and white sort of slats. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous scene. And then there's the other fucked up moment of love, which is that Neff is dying, and on his way out, he tells Zachetti to go to Lola and be with her. At first, it seems like a nice thing because his one of the dying things he does is he's been hanging out with Lola and he clearly likes her, but he wants her to be happy and she's in love with Zachetti, and so Neff tells Zachetti, go be with Lola, and it's sort of sweet that one of the last things he wants to do is give this young girl love in her life. Except Zacchetti's a fucking asshole. Like, Zacchetti probably having sex with the stepmom is a terrible person. And so, like, what kind of fucked up world is that where setting someone up with an abusive guy who was having sex with your stepmom and may have been involved in an upcoming plot with Phyllis to murder Neff? That's who he. It's like, so it's like, it seems like a nice gesture. Like, hey, I don't know why Lola loves you, but she loves you. Go be with her. That's his dying wish, is for that girl to be happy. But what the girl wants isn't good for her. She wants Zacchetti, and Zacchetti's a fucking asshole. And Neff puts them together at the end of the movie. Like, that's the kind of cynicism, the terribleness in everybody's bad. There are no good relationships in this movie. There are no, Keyes, lost his fiance because he was too suspicious. No one in this movie. Love is completely destroyed at every step in this film. And even though it technically has a happy ending because the people who committed the murder are all dead, the people who treated human beings like they could be exchanged, like tools. Again, Neff using Lola to get what he wants. Not caught for murder. Phyllis using Zacchetti to get what she wants, which is to kill Lola. That love cannot survive in this kind of environment. It's sort of a terrible, terrible thing. And then the movie has this great ending where he dies in front of the door. In front of the door for the insurance company, right? So the idea of capitalism and insurance and money and accident insurance and like the fact that he dies in the doorway of the company really emphasizes the role the company had. He's surrounded by money, exchange, capitalism. It's a terrible world, and he dies right in front of that sign for the insurance company, which is just like at the office, as if to emphasize kind of the role that sort of capitalism and money and shit had in this thing. Okay, cool. This is going really well. And then there's this also lovely moment towards the end of the movie where Neff says, you know what, Keyes, the reason you couldn't figure it out is because the murderer was too close. He was right across the desk from you. And Keyes says, closer than that. And Neff says, I love you too. Again, it's an amazing moment. Phyllis can say that she loves Neff once Neff is dying. Neff, once he's dying, can say that he loves Keyes, not romantically, but that they were good friends in this movie. Remember, Keyes tried to offer Neff a job. Having Keyes, Neff liked Keyes so much that he wanted Keyes to be. Sorry, try that again. Keyes liked Neff so much that he wanted Neff to be his assistant, and Neff turned him down because he had committed murder, and he's going to be leaving soon. But so he clearly, and he says, I didn't give you to offer you this job because you're smart. I offered you because you're less dumb than the other guys. But Keyes likes Neff. And it breaks his heart that his friend, who he's known for 11 years, and there's that thing on the tape where he says, I can vouch for Walter Neff. He's a good guy. I've known him for 11 years. He's a good person. Like, Keyes really liked Neff. And so it's heartbreaking to discover that Keyes, who doesn't really have any friends except for Neff, he doesn't have a fiance, doesn't have a wife, doesn't have children. He's in it for the office. He really loved Neff. And Neff broke his fucking heart by becoming a murderer. And so it's a nice moment, right? Like you couldn't catch this guy because he was, too close, right across the desk, closer than that. Well, I love you too, right? Like, it's a weird way to say I love you, but it is. He's closer than just across the desk. He's close to my heart. And it's a lovely kind of moment at the end of the film. All right, I think we did it, guys. That was Double Indemnity. All right, thanks for joining me. Please consider writing papers about femme fatales. I'm sure you've got a movie with a deadly woman in it that you could compare to Barbara Stanwyck character. And I think we're all done. Okay, cool. Oh, and of course, Phyllis's weakness was she said she loved Walter, and then that love is a weakness because it allows him to shoot her. Like, what a fucking nightmare world of this film. I'm going to make one more really brief video, and then I'll see you guys next time.